Good evening, everyone, and greetings from Bold. We would like to express our gratitude to each one of you for joining us today for this enlightening session and for choosing Bold reasoning and aptitude in your curriculum. We are glad to be your partner in this journey of nurturing a brighter future for your students. At Bold, we are continuously exploring avenues to ensure the holistic development of the students and to revolutionize the teaching learning experience to meet the demands of 21st century skills. Our blended learning courses are developed with an innovative and inclusive approach that syncs perfectly with the educator's goals and the aspirations of the school management. In our pursuit of skill-based education, the development of bold reasoning and aptitude emerge as a natural progression as it develops and improves metacognition, which are hallmarks of intellectual thought, serving as a tool to enhance various other skills such as creative and critical and logical thinking, applicative and analytical thinking, decision making and innovation, linguistics, and verbal intelligence. While promoting multidisciplinary learning and assisting children in their day-to-day lives, this book will also introduce them to concepts that will aid in various Olympiads and competitive exams. Today's webinar is focused on nurturing the core essence and ideology of reasoning and aptitude and our perspective towards it. The modules that we will be discussing today are designed to deliver effective strategies for teaching reasoning and aptitude in the classroom. For that, we feel privileged to have here Mrs. Sumanjeet Kaur, a dedicated educationist with more than 25 years of combined experience as a mathematics teacher, teacher trainer, content writer, and career guide. Being an alumnus of BPS Puram, she is a graduate with honors degree in mathematics from the prestigious Delhi University. She attained her degree in education from Annamalai University. While working as a mathematics teacher and a career guide with some of the India's top-rated schools like BPS, Army Public School, DAV Public School, etc., she was directly involved with the student body for over 2 decades. She also mentored the CCA system at its initial stages. She has been successfully able to conduct training sessions of over 700 hours and has by now trained 2,500 teachers and students. Additionally, she has conducted 4 workshops for training Army school teachers at AFDRC, Shankar Bihar, Delhi. She has penned down a book on mental math and has also trained university students on human values and professional ethics at the prestigious North Cap University. Now, who else can be better to enlighten us in case of using the bold reasoning and aptitude to the fullest and extract maximum benefit out of it? I would like to request Mrs. Kaur to take the charge of the session and enrich us with her wise perspectives. You are most welcome.
So much, Saikat. That was really nice of you to give that type of introduction to all the attendees. I welcome all of you to the webinar in which we shall be discussing the effective ways through which this book, which has been implemented in your schools, aptitude and reasoning, can be effectively taught in the classrooms. Now, before I begin this presentation, I would like all of you to just have a look on the video. And this video, I want you to concentrate more on the audio than the video.
जो अध्यापक के अंदर आत्मविश्वास पैदा करना है कि तुम कुछ बड़ा काम करो। एक तेजस्वी अध्यापक क्या बना सकता है, ये भारत का इतिहास भी बताता है और विश्व का इतिहास भी बताता है। सिकंदर भारत में तरफ चला था तो कोई योद्धा नहीं चला था, महान गुरु अरस्तु की परंपरा चली थी। और जब वो आधी लड़ाई सिल्यूकस के हाथ में छोड़कर गया था तो लड़ाई सिल्यूकस और चंद्रगुप्त के बीच नहीं थी, दो गुरुओं के बीच में थी। एक यूरोप का गुरु था जिसका नाम अरस्तु था और एक भारत का गुरु था जिसका नाम कौटिल्य चाणक्य था, और इस लड़ाई का भारत का गुरु जीता।
So, dear teachers, You are the gurus from India. All of you are well equipped with these powers which have been told in this video. For those who do not have a very good hand over Hindi, I would just give a gist in English. That when Aristotle had actually come to be in war with India, when he had invaded India, his guru was Arastu. And when he left India, the war in hands of Chandragupta, whose guru happened to be Kautilya. It was the war between Kautilya and Arastu. Now, Chandragupta won, according to this audio, because it was, the reason was his guru, the teachings of his guru. So the gurus of Bharat or India have been so good, so impactful, that they could win and make their disciples win any war. And you, being the gurus of today's students, are well equipped. You have all the powers to change or to just mold their futures and equip them with all the new technology, with all the skills that are required, with everything all the innovations that are taking place in the education industry. We know that education industry is very, very dynamic in nature, but we have to keep up to it. With this, I start the presentation. Effective ways of teaching reasoning and aptitude, a blended course. This is the book which has been given to you, and this is based on enhancing the skills of reasoning. Now, we have been teaching our students in a certain way, and most of you, I believe, are mathematics teachers who are participating today. So, as a mathematics teachers, how do we go about teaching this book more effectively? Maybe you have been, teaching in certain ways in the concepts of mathematics, which are not the same that will be handy to teach this book. But then teachers, you have certain skills, even if those skills, those concepts that you have been teaching in a certain way are not going to be helpful, your skills will be helpful for handling this book and for making your students ignite the curiosity for learning more. Now, the most effective way to make up your minds to teach this book is to adopt a model which is called learn, unlearn, and relearn. Now, let us look at what is this model. You must have heard about this model, but let us find out what does this model actually ask of you. Most of us are accustomed to learning process. And with this learning process, we just keep accumulating and stacking the facts. That is what we have been doing, and that is what we are making our students do. Whereas this approach has its own limitations, as it does not allow us to adapt to new technologies, methods, and attitudes. So we need to adopt a new model so that we can adopt new technologies, new methods, new innovations which are being offered by the industry. So I suggest that you adopt the learning, unlearning, and relearning model, which requires you to analyze the relevance of the information that you have learned earlier when new information is coming your way. Based on the evaluation that you do of your previous knowledge, it will be necessary to discard the outdated beliefs and restructure your mental frameworks. Now, let us look at a few tips that you can adopt to embrace this model of learning, unlearning, and relearning. We all have confirmation biases. Now, what are confirmation biases? Confirmation biases are some of the facts and evidences which we readily adopt based on the beliefs that we have in our lives. There are many facts and evidences that are available in our environment, but we do not accept all those facts and evidences. We accept only those facts and evidences which are being supported by our beliefs. And this is what is confirmation bias. That is confirmation which is biased. We confirm the facts and evidences biased by our beliefs. Now, this is frequently displayed in most of the individuals, but this reduces our receptivity to the new concepts. However, let us reevaluate our beliefs so that when our learning, unlearning, and relearning takes place, this helps us to adopt or accept the facts and evidences which we ignore. Another tip for adopting this model is develop a growth mindset. When I say growth mindset, I mean that you persevere in the face of failures, you make an effort to build new skills, you find inspiration in others' successes, you accept or embrace challenges, you also accept criticism, and you have desire to learn and build abilities rather than avoiding challenges, give up easily, make the efforts fruitless, so that this growth mindset can actually help you through cultivating new curiosity. Curiosity, if you ignite curiosity in yourself, it will be helpful in making you igniting curiosity among your students as well. This means you're going to replace your shame or fear about not knowing something with a sense of wonder and excitement about the opportunities for learning and discovery that are presenting themselves. Another tip for learning, unlearning, and relearning model, that is, ask more questions. This asking more questions anywhere, or asking even yourself some questions and exploring all the resources that are available to you to ask questions about that are arising in your mind, enhance the conversations that you make with your colleagues, in your personal life, etc. And when you're asking questions, you are making an effort to uncover new information, and this will help you broaden your horizons. This ability to ask more questions is very crucial in deeper learning and can either expand your learning ability or it can restrict your learning ability. Next tip, stay aware of changing trends in your industry. As you might be aware, when you interact with more of your fraternity in different schools, working in different schools, you might be knowing that every school is adapting books which are related to enhancing new skills, life skills. Now, this is something which has been recently introduced in the schools. NEP was introduced a few years back, and based on NEP 2020, many changes have taken place in the industry. You need to be aware, and this awareness can help you to grow as a professional as well as personally. It will help you to identify new skills in yourself. You will be able to communicate better. You will be able to teach better, and you will be able to grow better, not only as a professional, but also as an individual. Now I come to the part where I want you to read this small story. It is a story of a rat and a crab. Once upon a time, there was a rat and a crab. They were great friends. One day, they went to the forest to get firewoods. As they were going through the woods, enjoying each other's company, they came across a papaya tree with a fruit that seemed too good not to get. They stopped and debated who will climb up and get it. Crab said, "Let me climb up first." So the crab decided to go up, but halfway up, he broke off one of his legs, and so he climbed back down. The rat climbed all the way up and reached the fruit and started eating the fruit. The crab was on the ground and asked him, "Aren't you going to share with me?" The rat didn't respond and kept eating. The crab then left the rat and went on his way. While walking beside the stream, he saw a fish, a big red snapper fish. He caught the fish and brought it up. While he was getting the fish, the rat caught up to him and saw him with the red snapper fish and said, "That looks delicious." The crab said to him, "Even though you didn't share, I would still share mine if you promise to share whatever you have." They agreed on it and left together with a delicious meal waiting to be eaten. Now, the moral of the story is great satisfaction comes from sharing, and sharing is caring. Now, after this, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you want to answer, you can raise your hands. I'll view your answers. Why did crab decide to climb up the tree first? Any answers? Teachers, you may raise your hand to answer this. Why did crab decide to climb up the tree first?
Ma'am, we are getting answers in the chat box. Teacher says overconfidence.
Okay. Any other answer?
So they're saying that they want because the crab wants to eat it first. Greediness, enthusiastic,
Okay.
grab the opportunity first
Okay.
to eat the fruit first,
Okay.
because he needs more time than rat, and he wants to take initiative. He
Okay.
was over enthusiastic.
Okay.
The fruit was tempting.
Okay.
Hunger to achieve.
Now look, teachers, according to your own individual reasoning skills, you have given me a number of answers. You have given me a reason as to why crab climbed up the tree first. I would not say that any answer is right or it is wrong, because it is your reasoning which has made you answer. Any individual, according to the aptitude that they have. Now, when I talk about aptitude, it is inborn. It is not something that I can teach you. You have your own individual aptitudes. Based on your aptitudes, you reasoned it out, because reasoning is a process. Now, let me move to the next question. Let us see what do you answer for this. Why did rabbit not share the fruit with the crab? Raise your hands, please. Yes, Aloni, any answers?
Yeah, so they are saying that the rat was selfish.
Rabbit.
Greediness, yeah, greediness.
Yeah.
Most of them says greediness,
Okay.
selfish, greedy.
Okay.
Most of the answer says either selfish or being greedy.
Okay. So most of you agree on these two answers. Either rat was greedy or he was selfish. So here the reasoning is matching with each other. Next question. Why did the crab decide to walk off?
So we got an answer. Crab didn't want to waste its time waiting.
Okay.
He already lost, felt bad, disappointed, sad.
Okay.
He was his friend to get his food, disappointed, sad, mostly disappointed and sad.
Okay. And he was still hungry because the rat had not given him any fruit, right? Next question. Why did the crab decide to share the fish with the rat, even though the rat had not given him anything?
Generous, caring, he was a friend. Open-hearted, he was kind. Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Sharing gives you satisfaction. Caring friend, kind, good-hearted friend, positive nature, forgiveness, generous, kindness.
So here also mostly the teachers are agreeing on the common grounds. So they reasoned it out commonly, right? So this was reasoning. After this story, in languages also we need the reasoning skills. I just read out a story and you reasoned it out. And this medium was, using a storytelling. So now I move forward with some more theory, and that is, what is reasoning? You've just reasoned out a few things in the story. Now let us find out what is reasoning. Teachers, I'm going to rush through these definitions because you already are aware of these definitions. Reasoning is nothing but the ability for which helps us to assess things rationally. And this ability is based on certain logics, which is used from the existing or the new information. This is as per the definition. We assess things rationally. There is always some rationality. You must have heard that he speaks very irrationally. Now, rational and irrational, of course, as maths teachers, you know what they are. But yes, the things need to be assessed rationally while we make certain decisions. And we need to use logic. Now, rationality, logic, all these words are already ingrained in you as mathematicians. I move forward with aptitude. What is aptitude? Aptitude is a component of competence to do a certain activity. When you have outstanding aptitude, you are talented or skilled. And aptitude is inborn potential. It cannot be taught. To perform activities which may be physical or mental, developed or undeveloped in nature. So reasoning is a process, whereas aptitude is inborn ability. So what is the relationship? As we said, just found out reasoning is process of evaluation, whereas aptitude is capability. Example here is, if you have an aptitude for maths, then you can reason out the processes more easily. So you can make the sense of reasoning of the processes that are involved in understanding different concepts and doing the questions based on this concept more easily if you have aptitude for any subject, not only maths. Broadly speaking, there are two types of reasoning, inductive and deductive. Inductive is when you are forming general theories from specific observations. Something that keeps happening repeatedly and you conclude that it will happen again is called inductive reasoning. Here I give you an example. the part of country where I'm speaking from, that is Delhi, we do get rains usually in the month of July and August. Although the patterns are changing due to global warming, but still we would restrict to the statement that monsoon arrives in this northern part of the country in July and August. So on whatever observations we have been making since our childhood, just putting that general theory, I conclude specific observation that this is the way it has been raining. So it will rain in the month of July and August. That is, monsoon will be reaching us in the months of July and August. Whereas deductive reasoning is forming specific conclusions from general premises. Now, you have learnt many theorems as mathematicians, just like Pythagoras' theorem. Now, you apply Pythagoras' theorem to so many other theorems, and every time on the step that you are applying Pythagoras' theorem, you write in brackets on the right-hand side, by Pythagoras' theorem, right? By so-and-so reason. You reason out each and every step for geometry-related questions or some new theorems based on the knowledge that you have attained from the previously learnt theorems. And this is called deductive reasoning. If this is, everyone in a class is an English major and Jesse is in that class, it means Jesse is also an English major. And dear teachers, mathematics is based on deductive reasoning. Now, the books that have been given to you, right from class 1 to class 8, right from all the questions involved in class 1 till all the questions that are given in class 8 book are based on deductive reasoning. You are already being explained the concepts before at the beginning of each chapter, and from there you will deduce some reasoning concept which will be applied in the questions which follow thereafter. And that is how your schools mostly have chosen maths teachers, because you are great at deducing reasons. Now, what is the relationship between mathematics and reasoning? Mathematics plays a very important role in structuring the mind and in the base that sharpens your first logical reasoning, second problem solving, and then analytical abilities. So all your teachers are already well equipped with these three skills. And therefore, you can encourage the students to improve their mathematical skills as well as reasoning skills. Because you have it in yourself, you can give it to them. You can make them do it more easily than others. Now, where do we use reasoning skills? We use reasoning skills to interpret information, to respond to arguments that are being made, to establish credibility of a source of information, to understand reliability of information, to comprehend patterns in the information, and to create ideas and hypotheses. Now, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, these are the situations that we handle on daily basis. Every day, we handle a number of situations where information is given or somebody argues with us, or we need to find out how reliable is the information, how we have to understand the pattern of the information that is being presented in any life situation, and then we create ideas and hypotheses on the basis of the reasoning skills that we have. Now, let us come to the part where I just would like to discuss some effective strategies to teach reasoning skills to the students. Number one strategy: use real-world scenarios. present to them those scenarios which you feel that they actually face in their lives. And when you present these scenarios, please be very conscious that you do not just pick up the example from somewhere that is unknown to the child. If you're teaching in a rural area, you need to pick up an example which is actually somewhere in their rural environment. Don't give it from an unknown environment. If you are in an urban area, again, pick up the real world scenario which you feel that they face on the daily basis. On the basis of these scenarios, ask them questions. These scenarios could be from sports, from finance. When I say finance, then it could be money matters. Health data means the health that they or their family members are keeping on the daily basis. Then there could be concepts and formulas that you are teaching them. And while you are engaging them in presenting these real world scenarios, you could be using maps, timelines, historical events, so that their curiosity gets stimulated and you can create relatable themes. This will help them to develop their reasoning skills. Next, encourage questions and discussions. As teachers, we at times do not, maybe because we do not have time or we are not being able to manage the time covering up the curriculum that is to be covered, we do not encourage questions and discussions of their lives. So please, teachers, manage the time well and engage them in certain questions and discussions. These questions could be related to any idea or any concept or any, news that is going on, news updates. Tell them what is going around. Tell them the latest innovations in education industry. Tell them what all these updates, if you keep giving them one by one, but please be very slow because this is something new. They cannot just grab all at a time. Go very gradually when you engage them in these activities. So when you discuss something new with them, ask questions from them and engage them in healthy discussions so that you understand how well can they reason out of whatever you are telling them. Because each and everything that is being handled by the world on daily basis, suppose we happen to talk about the war. So ask them, which country has invaded which country? Why do you feel this particular country invaded this country? What could be the reason? Do you feel that it is healthy to do so? How is it going to impact the other countries? And why do you think so? Whenever you're going to put up the question, why, automatically their minds will go into reasoning. And give them the feedback. Not just listen to them, give them the feedback that, yes, you are right, or maybe this could also be the reason. Never speak in negative tones. Don't tell them outrightly, you are wrong. Because even CBSE long time back, I remember, had issued the circular where they said no negative remarking. It really impacts the young minds. They are very, very impressionable. When you engage in discussions, don't outrightly reject their answers or their ideas. But yes, this will certainly make them grow in the area of reasoning. Now, next strategy is teach metacognitive skills. Students have certain thoughts. Now, make them think about their thoughts. And this is what is awareness and regulation of thinking process. Awareness means I am thinking on this path, and regulation means that maybe I should not be going on that path, or maybe I should restrict my thought process up to certain limits. As it is, metacognition is very, very important for analytical reasoning and their performances. And you can teach these skills by modeling strategies, providing them the instructions very explicitly, and creating practice and reflection opportunities, just like what you do in language, psychology, art, etc. So you have to teach and develop metacognitive skills in students. Use multiple modes and formats to enhance their reasoning skills. When I say multiple modes and formats, I mean that every student has certain bias towards a different way of learning. Some learn through listening, some learn through writing, some learn through speaking, some learn through touching, some learn through dance, some learn through numbers, etc. So you have to cater to the diverse needs of the learners that are in your class. And this will enhance engagement, as well as this will promote deeper learning amongst your students. Now, how can you teach logical reasoning frameworks? When I'm saying frameworks, I mean all the concepts which are being covered by these books at different levels. Number one, you have to, first of all, explain the purpose and benefits of that framework. When I conduct my maths workshops also, I usually tell my teachers that before you start any new chapter, please tell the application of that concept in real life. How is that learning of that concept going to be beneficial in their real life? Now, if you do not tell them this, and they just look at your concepts and your new frameworks as just a part of curriculum and getting marks, sorry, you are not hitting long-term targets. You're just teaching for them to cram and get marks. And this is not the goal of any student, specifically in the present scenarios. So you have to tell them why you're going to teach this reasoning framework. How is it going to be beneficial in their life? Choose appropriate logical reasoning framework for your topic and your audience. Now, first I hit on audience. You are catering to very diverse arena of audience. You don't have same type of audience. I don't know where all you are attending from. You are attending from different parts of the country, and each part has a different, having been to the rural areas, having been to the A class cities, B class cities, I know that your students have different aptitudes. They have different learning capacities. So you need to find out logical reasoning framework which suits your audience, and so should be your topic. Suppose you know that your audience will not be able to do chapter number 6 after chapter number 5. You can, for the time being, skip chapter number 6 and move on to the chapter which they will be easily able to grab. Or you could be preparing them in such a way that they are well equipped with previous knowledge so that they get curious to learn the new chapter. Next, demonstrate how to use logical reasoning framework step by step. Now, this I will discuss in the slides which are going to come later on. But just to tell you that you need to go step by step when you come to a new chapter with the help of many teaching aids, which could be diagrams, charts, tables, 3D models, videos, etc. So when you go to the new chapter, you could use various teaching aids to teach the new concepts, new terms, new rules, and go very slowly. Don't rush the things through. This book is for enhancing their skills. It is not to cram the chapters and appear for the exam. Make sure that by the end of the term, at least there is 50% enhancement in their reasoning skill. Review and reinforce the key points and skills of logical reasoning framework. So you need to tell them that how well they have been able to, grab the concepts that you are going to teach them. Summarize the benefits and the purpose of the new concept. Identify common mistakes that they have done during the chapter. Also offer resources for improvement. Assess their outcomes and solicit feedback for future lessons. Ensuring effective teaching and learning. There is no point teaching if there is no improvement in the students. So you have to give them some good feedback so that they do not repeat their mistakes. So provide these learners with examples and exercises tailored to their level and their goals, providing clear feedback on performance, identifying the errors that they have committed in the chapter that you have taught, and encouraging questions and discussions with not only the teachers, but among the peers also. And you have to provide these examples and exercises for practice. Now, what activities improve logical reasoning skills? I'll just tell you. Sudoku, crosswords, chess, these are the great options. Apart from doing the book, you can engage the students maybe 5 to 10 minutes in a classroom to do these. Also, develop their analytical reading habits. Although I'm doing a workshop on effective methods of teaching reasoning and aptitude, where most of the questions are maths-based, still I read a short story just to make something available for you as an example that this activity will, gear you up for, gear up your mind to reason out whatever answers you are giving. So reading materials that require critical analysis, complex articles. You could be reading out some small articles from magazines, or they are available online, etc., so that you ignite their curiosity for reasoning out, or how do you reason out things when you make a decision. Now, this is step-by-step guide how to go through the concepts in your classrooms. Number one, before you enter your classroom, you should be very well prepared. And this goes out to all teachers. Whenever you get a break, maybe long weekends, maybe a vacation, we have 2 to 3 vacations during one term. Maybe you get, some festival holidays. Prepare yourself with 3 or 4 chapters. And as a teacher, it does not take us too much time to prepare. We are not students. We already are equipped with lots of knowledge that has been given to us through our education system. Just make a little bit of effort to, go through the chapters, find out the strategy, and then move into the classroom. Now, I give an example here. After being prepared, how do you move? In class 6, if you have to do some previous knowledge test, the first step is go and test their previous knowledge while you start with any new chapter. Just like in class 6, you have a chapter called directional sense test. So when you start with this, you could be asking them questions that are related to cardinal and intercardinal directions. Do they have the knowledge about these directions? Also, do they have enough knowledge about the various types of angles? As far as I remember, the curriculum does cover up the types of angles in class 6. But when you are doing this particular chapter of direction sense, have they already learned in their maths class the various types of angles? Acute, obtuse, zero, reflex, complete, etc. Now, after having tested the knowledge about cardinal, intercardinal directions and types of angles, if you find that this is not up to the level that is required to move forward with this chapter, then halt and give enough practice for both. Make these concepts clear and give them enough practice related to these two concepts. Then move to the next concept, which is Pythagoras theorem. If it has not been covered up by the maths curriculum of class 6 by the time that you reach this chapter of these books, then make sure that you teach them this theorem well. Move very carefully and very slowly, catering to each and every individual. They could be 20, they could be 40, they could be 50 in your class. Make the concepts very clear and make them practice with enough questions which are related to these theorems. Now, after having done this, move forward with the examples which are given in the book. You have ample number of examples which are given in each chapter of different levels, and each answer has an explanation. So you have everything for yourself there. So you have to practice it very carefully with the students, making sure everybody is understanding what you are teaching in the classroom. While practicing the examples, you need to dedicate enough time on explanation and reasoning. You are not there just to do a question, but you need to tell them, explain them, what is the reason that you have arrived to a certain answer. Our basic aim here is to enhance their reasoning skill. So we are not just there to give them an answer to a question. We need to explain the reason as to why we have arrived to a certain answer. And while doing these questions, use as many as possible teaching aids like videos, cardboard cuttings, 3D models, etc., etc. As teachers, you know how many teaching aids you can use in the classroom. Now, ignite the curiosity. Your teaching should be in a way that the child's curiosity is ignited enough, and this will help them question you. If their curiosity has been, you have been able to ignite their curiosity, they will arrive to a point where they will question you and would like you to discuss the topic and the questions related to it. Make sure that as a teacher, you're successful in catering to the needs of teaching this book, where each and every child's heart says, Har dil mange more. They ask you to practice, make them practice more. It is not you who should be saying, let us do one more question. It should come from their mouths, and not only their mouths, but their hearts. Now, the components of this course, we have video lessons, we have chapter ebooks, we have interactive quizzes, we have practice worksheets for you, we have sample papers, we have online assessments, we have challenge yourself assessments, Soon in July, we are going to give you a test generator, and detailed manuals are expected to be given to you in June, which will have explicit lesson plans covering up warm-up activities, suggested teaching activities, answers with detailed explanations, worksheet answer keys, solution of brain boosters. These sources as of now are available online, and which you can practice in your classes through smart boards. But very soon, by July, they should be available to all the teachers by July. The cognitive skills that are being covered in this program of the books are memorization, observation, imagination, concentration and absorption, rational thinking, linguistics, decision-making, analytical things. So by making them reason out more, you are actually enhancing so many cognitive skills which are important for dealing with life. Now, why are we actually implementing this course? Why so much? Because you may be aware that there are so many exams which actually assess the reasoning and aptitude of an individual. Not to go far off, first of all, during the school days itself, they appear for Olympiads. Apart from that, after having done the school or maybe shifting to another school, they have to appear for competitive exams. To name a few: SSC, CAT, MAT, GMAT, GRE, UGC, UPSC exams, ICET, CUET, bank PO, defense exams, bank exams, railway exams, and placements like in these companies. Everywhere, these children have to crack the competitive exams. And doing this course will not only enhance the skills in your students, look at it from the different angle. This will help you as an individual to enhance your skills also. Because the more we teach, the more we learn. Thank you so much, teachers. After having discussed all these points, if there are any queries, you may ask. Over to you, Saloni.
Yes, ma'am. So anyone, if you have any queries, please raise your hand. We'll allow you to unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Deborah.
Yeah, ma'am. The way you taught us is very good. We need the same thing in biology for grade 10, ma'am.
Over to you, Saloni.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question?
Ma'am, I need the same brainstorming questions, worksheets and answers. It's what ma'am told. I need even in biology for grade 10. Can I get that resource, ma'am?
Ma'am, please share your concern on, I'll flash an email ID in chat box. Please share your concern there, because I think that is for Viva Education.
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rekha, ma'am, please share your concern. I have allowed you to unmute yourself.
Ma'am, good afternoon. It was a wonderful session. Ma'am, I would like to know, challenge yourself. More assessment, can I get examples of it?
Challenge your abilities, your learning abilities, as well as assess whatever you have learned earlier in your life. Is it relevant in the present day scenario? So you have to challenge yourself for that. That is, I think, more based on the slide that I showed about bias that we have. We have certain beliefs. Even though lots of facts and figures are available to us, we do not accept all facts and figures. We accept them on the basis of our beliefs. So you have to challenge yourself, your beliefs actually. When we say challenge yourself, you have to challenge your beliefs, because all our beliefs have certain timelines. It is not that whatever beliefs we have carried for so long are valid in present day scenario. If they have become outdated, we have to challenge ourselves to believe something which has come now, which is valid in today's scenario. And this is what is challenging yourself. So based on new beliefs, you will be able to accept facts and figures that you have rejected earlier. For example, I'll tell you, supposing that there is a fact, it rains in the month of March. Now, most of us would here in Delhi say, how can it rain in March? It cannot. Even if it becomes cloudy, we will say, we've never seen the clouds. So because we have a belief that we do not get rains in this month. So that is how we challenge our beliefs. And when we challenge our beliefs, we start accepting those facts and figures which we have not been accepting earlier. I hope that satisfies your query.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. And I came to know through someone that as a teacher, we tell so many day-to-day experience about ourselves. Should we share this with the students with our name? They might be more judgmental on us, or should we say, yes, once it happened so and so?
Yeah, kindly avoid. Even during sessions, I usually avoid personal experiences and personal stories. Even if you feel that it is, in the context, just put some fictitious name and tell the story.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Next.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, it was a wonderful session. And the way you taught everything and the way you explained everything, it was very informative. My question is, ma'am, that when it is a mixed bag of students in class, class has a several type of students, and some students are taking interest and some TP students are not taking interest. And you have to even buy the attention of that, the most notorious student of the class. Then how should we go about it? I mean, if I place a question in the class where some logical reasoning or is been given, how should I go about it to grasp the attention of the child immediately?
Now, grabbing the attention of the child immediately means understanding the child thoroughly. As a teacher, you already know it. You are equipped with that skill, how to understand. When I don't want to quote that, but as trainers, when we are conducting the seminar, we don't get any time to understand you. And right now, I can't even look at you. Can I? No. There is a large number of, I think, 900 plus participating here. When I can't even see you, I am required to understand your individual needs. I have to perceive all that can come up during my session. So as a teacher, you need to understand in general how many types of students you might have to face in the classroom. Suppose you are facing some notorious child. Best way of handling a notorious child is engage that child in the classroom. Put the ball in his court. Instead of asking him to do a certain question, tell him or tell the class, he is going to discuss the next question. That gives a very big boost to his ego. You tell him, I feel that he is already well equipped with reasoning skills to handle this question. I've been observing him since a very long time. I'm sure that he will be able to explain this particular question to the class. Now, this boosts his ego. Do you agree as a teacher?
I completely agree with you. Yes, we have to ask the child to take an initiative and, in that situation, we have to understand how to handle the situation. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. As a teacher, you've been handling N types of students.
Yes, ma'am.
This subject or this book could be new. Handling the students as a teacher is not new to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I hope
thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because the concept is very important. What you explained is very important. And as I feel that I would like each and every child of the class to get the maximum out of it. So that is why I was asking the question.
Yes, I completely agree. I have discussed effective methods of teaching this book, but you need to understand effective methods of classroom teaching first before you jump into effective methods of teaching this particular book. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, Pragya.
Ma'am, there's a question from a teacher. She's asking, you talked about deductive reasoning, but do deductive reasoning also actually derive from inductive reasoning?
I didn't get, please repeat this question. Arise from
No, actually derive from inductive reasoning. So
No,
she's asking,
inductive is specific to general, and deductive is general to specific. And when we do maths, and as far as I have gone through this book, whatever question is there in these books, right from class level 1 to level 8, all questions are based on deductive reasoning. So you or your students already have some knowledge, general knowledge, previous knowledge, based on which these concepts will be taught and these questions will be handled, deducing the results from your previous knowledge or your students' previous knowledge.
all right, ma'am, not related to reasoning, but Shivani ma'am is asking, please give idea how to cover syllabus of maths in given time, which is not enough for maths.
Making good lesson plans and time management. One line. It is all your skill as a teacher. Good time management and classroom management. That will help you to do that. Saloni, I would like to just mention something, reading a few questions from the chat box. The concern that was given to me while asking me to conduct this session was that the book was problem, but here in the chat box, the questions that have arisen tell me that it is not the book, but the students that are a problem. Now, you are writing repeatedly how to get to the students who are not interested in learning. Teachers, as a parent, you accept all types of your children, your own kids. They may be notorious, they may be intellectuals, they may be having higher levels of thinking skills, they may be children with very low learning capacities. When it comes to your own children, there's lots of acceptance. But when you take up the role of a teacher, why do you not accept each and every student as a child? They are in their formative years, very impressionable minds. Whatever you speak about them in the classrooms does stay with them throughout their lives. Even you might be having those teachers, you can recall those teachers you just hated because they were always, negative motivators. And you might have fallen in love with the teachers who were positive motivators, who were always, you felt, were there, whatever your problem be. So be that kind of teacher who is very, very passionate, not only about teaching, but about connecting with each and every individual who is present as their student. All 40, 45, 50 are your students, not students, but your children, once you are there in the classroom for 40 to 45 minutes. Connect with them heart to heart, not just brain to brain. This will make you rather handle them more easily. Why we are able to handle our children well? Because we get lots of time. We are able to connect to their hearts. We speak so many things during a day when we are with our own children, which makes a good connection between a parent and a child. Kindly spare some time during your classes to say a few words, compassionate words, that you care. When they will feel that you care, that learning, that passion to learn will get ignited by itself. You won't have even a single child who is not there to learn, who is not trying to learn and is trying to create ruckus or is trying to create problems. Even if they are doing something very notorious, be a very, just pass it out in a light manner. Okay, somebody's having a tiffin. Oh, so you're having a tiffin. Must be something very delicious made by your mom, I'm sure. But I would also like to share it, but during the break. That will bring a beautiful smile on the child's face. And he will stop eating in the class. Just an idea. Baki, आपका audience.
Jay Mala ma'am, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Jaymala. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. So
Yes.
happy. I'm so happy that I did not miss your session. It was very wonderful, very informative.
Thank
And
you
the
so
way
much, Jaymala.
just now, the way you were explaining about the teacher's nature, we should be show in the class. I really, really agree with that. I too follow the same way while teaching. That's why many of my students likes me a lot. They give their attention to and they try get the good interest in my class. They wait for my class. Then when my teacher will arrive, the day when I'll be absent, they'll be so upset. So next day they will ask me that why teacher you are absent. We were waiting for you. Really, really wonderful message you have shared with us, ma'am. Really, I'm happy and I'm thankful that after hearing your sentences, what are speeches about a good teacher, I felt that right, I'm on good path only. I'm not in the wrong way.
That's really great to listen to, that you are being loved by your teachers. Keep that spirit high and always be not only passionate in teaching, but also be very, very passionate in learning.
Yeah,
If
ma'am.
you're passionate as a teacher in learning, and learning is a continuous process. And I
Yeah, ma'am.
strongly believe the more you teach, the more you learn. So when you are going to teach these books, you will be learning immensely, because maybe you have not, maybe a few of you have never appeared for competitive exams. Take it as an opportunity that you will now be handling something that you never came across your lives, something new. So it
Yeah.
is professional development and
Yeah,
also
ma'am.
individual development.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving the time.
Most welcome, Jaymala. Next.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Divya. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, ma'am. I'm talking to you from Haridwar.
Oh, wow. That's a great place to talk from. I've been there once. It's a beautiful place. Okay, go ahead with your query.
First of all, thanks to the publication for organizing a workshop so that you are helping the teachers that how to conduct the session with the book. And it's a very interesting book indeed. But I would like to ask only one thing, that is it possible that we can get some printable worksheets also?
Ma'am, all the worksheets that are available on our platform are printable, are in printable format. You just have to download it and print it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Anuradha Badoni from DPS Ranipur, Haridwar.
Oh, wonderful. Anuradha, I'm from DPS Arkepur. Good evening.
Okay, ma'am. First of all, I'm really thankful to you for giving such information. Ma'am. It's really wonderful to hear you like this. And I would like to share one more thing, that in my school ma'am, from last 16 years, we are conducting a maths disease contest. It's an inter-school competition, and around about 23 school participated in these type of quiz contest, and we used to put all logical and reasoning based questions, especially in these disease contest. So it's very, yeah. So it's very.
That's a great activity, because I once participated during my college days in one of these quizzes. So I can understand what you're talking about. It is really a great idea if your school is taking this initiative. I wish you and your school all the best with this initiative.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and I'm really grateful for you. And I just means I'm very impressed, and I would like in future also. And I just waiting from last many years that such a course should be implemented in the school on a as a course, as you people are trying for this.
I'm sure now you're going to teach it more passionately.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you.
Ma'am, there are a few questions that I've noted down from the chat. So, there's a teacher, Miss K. Lakshmi. She's asking what strategies can be used to facilitate the process of unlearning outdated or incorrect information.
I think I've already given explicitly the tips. You should first have an open-minded approach. When you are taking that model into consideration of learning, unlearning, and relearning, you have to be very open-minded. You have to go through your beliefs. You have to revisit your knowledge. You have to understand how valid is the knowledge in present day scenario. How valid are the procedures that you have been adopting as a teacher in your classroom in present day scenario. Every day, everything in our lives has a timeline. We cannot say it will go on, and change is the only constant. You should be open to change in your lives. You will be able to get to that goal where you can unlearn a few things that you have learned earlier and relearn them in a new manner.
All right. There's one more question, ma'am. As concerned about knowledge, it is okay. What if parents' concern is about the marks? How to deal with questions regarding scores of the students?
Okay. In a session like this, well, parents, the prestigious and the most cared part for your school, you look at them as parents, the school looks at them as their clients. And hence there is usually a tussle. You can never satisfy any client, always. So this is one perspective. Secondly, it is not practiced widely, but teachers, whenever there is a PTM, you need to get to the parents. Take it as a very good opportunity to counsel parents. Usually what is observed that in PTMs, we take it as an opportunity to give all that we have been facing in the classroom with an individual child. आपका बच्चा ये करता है, ये करता है, ये करता है, ये करता है, all negative comments. That is not what they're visiting you for. As a parent, would you like to listen to anybody saying anything negative about your child? No. So kindly just, avoid that. Rather, use the language which does convey the required messages, but in a positive way. I know they all want toppers in classes. They want only rank 1. Right from roll number 1 to roll number 40 or 50. That is humanly not possible. Every child is equipped with different kinds of aptitudes, capacities, capabilities of learning. If we will have only people going to IIT and AIMS, then who on the earth is going to bring us milk every day, make the bread in the factories and stitch our clothes, blah, 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 so many other professions. Every profession needs to be looked at with equal respect. We need the services of each and every person. Even that, sweeper who comes in the morning to collect the garbage, he's also needed. Otherwise, the second day, my house would be stinking. So even he is required in the society. But we need to counsel the parents appropriately with lots of empathy during sessions that could be conducted individually or collectively. And this initiative should be taken by the schools. Tell them your child is capable of attaining 50%. Right now, he or she is at 35%. I will make sure that he reaches 50 or maybe crosses 50 and attains 60. But that is optimally what he can attain. Don't over-expect. It is not an individual who hurts. It is our expectation of the individual that hurts. And this idea should be put very subtly across the parents. So tell them what material is your child. This is what he can attain. Don't over-expect, don't hurt yourself. And in the long run, what mental health issues can come up or arise out of your over expectation in a child, where he could just blast and do nothing and attain nothing in life, then the onus will go on you. And this has to be told in a very logical way, in a very subtle way, in a very, in a language that does not hurt. I hope that I've satisfied your query.
Well said, ma'am. We are taking just one last question, which is from Deepa ma'am. She asks, is there any particular age group that needs to be focused more on as far as reasoning and aptitude is concerned, or is it of same importance across all grades?
No, it should be enhanced right from the early childhood, I believe. As soon as a child is maybe of age 1 year or 2 years, we need to tell them that what reason are they drinking milk and not and drinking Coca-Cola. This is how, on the lighter side. But yes, we need to enhance right from early childhood.
The sooner the better.
The sooner the better. Catch them while they are still young.
Yeah. So on that note, I would like to invite Director Mr. Naveen Joshi sir to give us the ending note for this program, for this webinar. Joshi sir, please.
Thank you, Saloni. Respected Mrs. Sumanjeet Kaur, principals, educators, ladies and gentlemen, I would take this opportunity to thank you all for taking a precious time of your busy schedule to attend this webinar on effective ways of teaching board reasoning and aptitude. On this occasion, we wish to express our sincere gratitude to Mrs. Sumanjeet Kaur to deliver this important mathematical presentation in a very simple way. Mrs. Kaur is a highly experienced mathematician, a teacher trainer, and content writer. Up to now, she has been successfully able to conduct training session of over 700 hours and has by now trained more than 2,500 teachers and students. This is her great achievement. Please give big hand to her. I would like to mention here that we are the first publisher in India to publish the books on reasoning and aptitude for classes 1 to 8. The basic objective of developing these books is to enhance the IQ level of students in initial stages, classes 1 to 8. The subject reasoning also develop conceptual understanding, decision making, innovation, critical and logical thinking, and analytical thinking. All these concepts are important points of NEP 2020 and NCF 2023. As told by Mrs. Kaur, this subject is very useful for different competitive examinations. Nowadays, the digital screens have started replacing the blackboard and notebooks are getting replaced by laptops. But the importance of books can never be ignored. A good knowledge is firstly published in the form of books and then upgraded to technological approach, as we are doing in Word. Our special thanks to Sri Vinodji, our Managing Director, for his wholehearted support for all these educational activities. Great thanks to Ms. Saloni and her team for organizing this wonderful webinar. At last, special thanks to Mrs. Sumanjeet Kaur for this informative presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me the opportunity to conduct this beautiful session. I'm really delighted. Just sharing on a personal note, having been fighting cancer, this was my first session after a good battle of 11 months. And when this was presented to me, it was just 5 days after my last chemo cycle. So dear teachers, I just go with the motto, I can and I will. And I expect the same from my trainees. Thank you so much.